Well, shiver my timbers and shiver my soul, because on May 12th we're getting another live Muppet script reading, this time hitting the seven seas as they take on Muppet Treasure Island. As always, Tough Pigs is on board to present the official companion podcast, which I can luckily do on land because genuinely I get really bad seasickness. Joining me, as always, is the show's director and producer and a good friend to us at Tough Pigs, it's Matt Wilkie. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Jared. Hey, everybody.
And our guest today is a comedian, writer, and improviser who has appeared in shows like Dropouts Make Some Noise, I'm Actually, and Dirty Laundry. They also wrote the Hulu film Prom Dates and currently host a very funny podcast called Conversion Therapy. They'll be playing Spat Am in the Muppet Treasure Scriptland. Will their role get them sued by the spam company like the Jim Henson Company? There's only one way to find out. Please welcome DJ Mausner. Hi, DJ.
Hi, that's me, the spam shill.
The spam. Are you? Did you know, DJ, that Spam sued the Jim Henson Company?
I did know that, and I believe that the case was thrown out because it's spelled SPA''AM. And for that reason, it's not considered one to one. Is that correct?
I assume so. I don't know. I think it's also
Yeah.
just because I think even like the courts looked at this and went, "Are you guys kidding? Like, move on,
Yeah,
move on."
absolutely. It's
I,
also free
I,
advertising.
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to have you here, DJ. Can you tell us what's your history with the Muppets?
Oh, super big Muppet fan, came from a big Muppet family. I still have some of the original VHSs of their of the Muppet Show, specifically when they put a couple episodes together for like the Halloween episodes, like I
Mhm.
remember very distinctly the Vincent Price episode, the Alice Cooper episode. Um, I remember also as a kid particularly loving the Robin and Kermit and many others of the Muppet cast doing Octopus's Garden and how
Mhm.
magical that number was with the puppets. Because I remember it being like, it was a lot of wides, and we got to see all sorts of things floating through the ocean. Just as a kid, I found that incredibly charming. And then as I got more into my career as I got older, I was incredibly lucky to write on a Nickelodeon show called Max and the Midnights, which is kind of like Lord of the Rings for kids
Mhm.
energy. And some of the people behind that were people who were part of the original Henson Studios. So worked with Dave Skelly, Kirk Thatcher, who was a co-writer, of course, on Muppet Treasure
Mhm.
Island, as well as John Stevenson, and getting to hear their stories. Every once in a while, we'd be talking about something for the show, and one of them would go, "Yeah, well, like Jim always used to say, blah 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 blah," and I'm like, Jim Henson, which was an insane experience to have as a massive fan. So I feel incredibly lucky to be a part of this reading. I've enjoyed all of Matt's programming, and to get to play Spot Am, no better character, quite frankly, in my opinion.
I mean, it's the best one. So yeah, how are you feeling now being involved in a script reading? So you've seen the others?
Yeah, I saw the live stream of the Muppet Christmas Carol. Well, I mean, Matt has such an incredible way of bringing the perfect casts together
Mhm.
because, the it's not necessarily always supposed to be one to one, but I do, meaning that the character that the actor is playing is the actor's trying to play it exactly like the original actors were and puppeteers and muppeteers were playing that character. But I do genuinely feel like Matt has a great eye of like nabbing the essence of the characters,
Yeah.
which is part of the fun. I mean, working the idea of like Nina West as Miss Piggy, like, come on, and then obviously some of my other pals who have been in other uh iterations of shows like Ruha Teslimi, who's like a human Muppet themselves, a good
Hmm.
friend of mine. That's said with love, of course, and Ruha knows that. Or Giovanni, these
Yeah.
people who naturally just kind of like channel those like um very, very funny, just so happens to be appropriate for all ages, brightness, lightness, but also like wryness and genuine, like point blank period, hilarious sketch
Yeah.
kind of vibes. At least what I'm thinking in the Muppet Show realm. And then Muppet movie wise, it only gets better from there.
Yeah. You're not wrong, Matt. Matt, your eye for casting is impeccable. Um,
Truly.
and well, can you talk
Thank you.
about casting DJ as Spat Am?
I mean, like, talk about a no-brainer. It was
Wow.
so easy. DJ is someone who I've been a fan of for a long time. DJ and I got to work together once before on a live stream fundraiser that we were doing separately from the Muppet script, but it was someone who worked there, a good friend of mine, Langston, was setting this up, and we were raising funds for some anti-ice demonstrations and different things. And so Langston came to me and said, "We need something to fill up this time." And so we're taking all kinds of pitches. And I said, "Well, we couldn't do a full script reading in this 15-minute slot. So what if we did an improvised version of the Muppet Show?" And so we did like this really quick version. DJ was the first person I reached out to because I knew how great they were at improv and how much they loved Muppets. And so it was our first time interacting. And they came out and they played Kermit for that show pretty much.
Oh,
That was like
wonderful.
the main person that they were doing.
Yes.
Nailed it already. I was a huge
Oh,
fan. Yeah. And so when it came time for this next show, one of the first people I thought of, and it was just so fortunate that they were available and so wonderful that they saw we'll talk about this a little bit, but we're tweaking the character of Spam just a little bit as well as the other boars. And when I pitched the approach to that, DJ immediately got it, was immediately on board and said, yes, and this is how we can make it cool, and this is how we can make it more inclusive, and this is how we can make it funnier. And their performance is going to be, I already know, just amazing, and I can't wait to see it.
I
oh
can't
my
wait
God,
either.
stop. So many compliments.
Uh, like we'll get to the balls in just a sec. Are there any other casting announcements you want to make? Who else have we got?
Yeah. So this week we're kind of trickling out the full announcements, and some of them I think will be a surprise on the day of as well.
Hmm.
But we've got a lot of returning favorites. So previously mentioned Nina West as Miss Piggy will be back, and I love them so much. I'm so excited that they're going to be around for this one. And Nina loves doing the shows. She absolutely loves it. So it's wonderful that they're back again. We'll have Mark Evan Jackson as Kermit, and I love him to death. But then we also have some new folks. So our Fozzie Bear this time is going to be Betsy Sidaro. And Betsy is super excited. And for this version of Fozzie especially, it's going to
Mm.
be such a great fit. We also have, also previously mentioned, Kirk Thatcher will be in the show as well. So
No way! Okay, I
yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna reach out to him, but I didn't know if he knew about the reading. And I was like, oh, I should talk to Matt first. That's hilarious. I can't wait to see Kirk. Kirk is a pal
yes,
of mine.
yes.
Who do we
Amazing.
have? Who do we have Kirk
Yeah.
playing?
He will be playing Mr. Billy Bones. And
Yes,
Oh,
of course
wonderful.
he will.
yes, of
And you
course.
know
Yeah.
what? As someone who's gone to many Renaissance fairs with Kirk, I have no doubt he's going to show up and show out with that costume. So
Oh,
get those live stream tickets because that man knows how to wear eyeliner. Let me tell you something about that.
We also have it was mentioned, but I don't think folks really picked up on it. We have a pirate icon playing another pirate in our show. So in the role of Mad Monty, we have Dante Basco, Rufio himself from Hook.
Oh,
And I think that's so
amazing.
cool that we have like it was like 2 years apart, these movies. And so to have such an icon of one version of a pirate playing whatever he's going to play it as is going to be so great.
I love it. I love it. And I hope someone just shouts out Rufio during it. And
Absolutely.
I won't be there, DJ. If you can take care of that for me, that'd be wonderful.
Yes, no problem. I'll be sure to do that. I'm sure he'll love that.
He probably has never heard that before.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one's ever said it
No
to him.
one's ever done it for him.
Um, all right, Matt. So you said you were gonna tweak the pigs and the balls.
We're
Tell
tweaking the
me,
pigs. Yep.
tell me, what does that involve?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So the boars are a product of 1996 that I think really needed an upgrade. I looked at the script in the movie again, and I said to myself, "This is not very friendly. This portrayal." And it's just a product of its time. It's nothing to insult the writers or anything like that. So our version, we're gonna upgrade it a little bit to be more inclusive. And the thought process that I put behind this was, if the boars learned English from Miss Piggy, and if we know that Benjamina Gunn, her mother was French, she was going to come in from France. So if she's teaching them English, she might have a bit of a French accent to it. And so our version of Spam and all of the boars will have a nice little French accent instead of the little less friendly version that they had in the film.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
the I love this twist too. When Matt and I were talking about the character, I'm Canadian. I'm originally from Toronto, but I lived in Montreal for 6 years, and so I speak some French, and my French is very heavily Quebecois accented, which is arguably the gruffer cousin of the Parisian accent. And so I honestly think it's a hilarious overlay for Spam to be like, "Oh yes, the collies," this kind of like honking rounded French. Um, that I think lends itself to the character very well. So super amped about that change for the reasons of being more accessible and for the reasons of I think it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah,
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 yeah, that's a fun little change, and yeah, you're right. It wasn't anything that I really thought about until you, Matt. You said to me, I think last week that you were looking at changing the pigs, and so I went back and watched some of those scenes and was like, oh, in my 7-year-old mind when I saw this wasn't an issue, but now I'm like, I see it.
yeah. What helped a lot was so I was kind of toying with this idea, and my wife and our co-producer for the show, Grace, we were watching the movie and we were like, we've got Disney Plus, we can change the language. Why don't we see what that would look like? And so we changed the language to French and we watched the scene with Spam, and it was hilarious, first of all. And then what that led us to was the greatest discovery, which is that the French version of Muppet Treasure Island is bonkers, and I almost want to say better than my wife's. This is her favorite Muppet movie, and she agrees. She said, "I don't. I love Muppet Treasure Island, but L'île Treasure or L'île des Trésors dans les Muppets is even better." And so the best part though is that they're all doing it's not like a one-to-one translation
Hmm.
for a lot of the songs because they want to kind of make they're very aware of like making the lips movements match and also like making it a little more accessible. So the love song is not called Love Let Us here. It is called Bonjour l'amour, and it is beautiful. So if you have a chance and you have like the either the DVD or if you're watching it on Disney Plus and you want to change the languages to French, highly recommend that scene. It is really, really sweet.
That's incredible. I have to do that.
It's
Being that I think I would understand probably 90% of it. I'm like, I gotta just watch it in French, no subtitles, and just enjoy the movie.
yes.
That's so cool. I love that.
I love it. When all the pirates laugh, do they laugh like oh, ho, 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 like
They do change like some of
Baguette,
the
baguette,
laughs.
baguette.
Like you would think like even in Shiver My Timbers when it's like that one part of the beginning where it's like oh
Yeah,
that is in French. It's like oh
Cheval, cheval, my timbales.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I love that.
That's one of the numbers I'm really looking forward to seeing is Shiver My Timbers because it's unlike anything that has been in any other Muppet movie.
Yes, yes. This
So,
this movie is really like it's set and filmed like a musical more than any
mm,
other Muppet movie in my mind. And
yeah.
so when we were coming up, we have some really I'm not going to spoil it, but we have a really fun sequence that goes with Shiver My Timbers in the theater that's really going to impress people, I think.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Um, DJ, are you a fan of Spam?
Spam in general, yes. I mean, unfortunately, these days I'm pescatarian, but living in Los Angeles means that we have access to so many different uh, foods in place of other foods for people with dietary restrictions.
Hmm.
And I believe it's called smorgasbord, which feels like a Muppet word in and of itself. That happens in LA where it's like a bunch of food trucks gather, and sometimes there's like record salespeople and
Yeah.
like, selling vintage clothes and whatever. And there's a truck that does a vegan spam musubi that's so good. So it's fake spam, but it tastes so unbelievably good. So in that regard, yes. And I also I'm somebody who when I travel, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna not eat the meat thing and try it. So my hope is at some point to actually get to a place who's making like spam musubi or using spam where I can just enjoy it.
Nice, lovely. Um, you talked before about the fact that like Kirk Thatcher's definitely going to dress up.
Oh,
Um, DJ, have you thought about a
For
costume
sure.
for Spat
I
Ends?
have. There's elements of it that I need to keep under wraps,
Okay.
but I want the costume to reflect one, the changes we're talking about to
Hmm.
kind of the background and the accent of the character, but also to reflect like the fun Muppetiness. There's something. One of the things that I really admire about the Muppets is aside from how funny it is, and aside from the star power of bringing in incredible actors, human actors, aside from the incredible and like kind of unbelievable Muppeteering, the puppets themselves are beautiful.
Hmm.
Like these are works of art. These are characters that are so defined. I had that well actually it was my brother's, so I don't want to take his objects. But we had when I was growing up that big book of like kind of like Muppet lore, and it's where Kermit is ripping through like white paper on the
Yeah.
front of the book. And I
Yes.
Yeah.
remember distinctly just, you know what I'm talking about? That with the
Mm.
white paper and
Yeah. The
he's like in the kind
works.
of
Yeah.
the negative space. Exactly. That
Yes.
I remember just thinking his design is so distinct. Obviously, it was turned into like the Henson logo, and even moving to LA and seeing like the Kermit in that tower,
Hmm.
like um, that. There's something about wanting to really nail down like an iconic silhouette, and I'm hoping to do that with elements of my costume. I'm trying not to be too vague, but I want it to feel I want it to feel equal parts in the world of Treasure Island, Muppet, and Pig. So take that three circle Venn diagram and find the center, and that's where I'll be.
Folks, this is exactly why I love DJ and needed to have him on this show because you would not get analysis like that from anyone. And
Yeah.
I,
it's
I appreciate it. I mean, listen, this movie is my favorite Muppet movie. I know controversial to say, given that it's not necessarily directed by Jim Henson. It is my favorite. It was huge growing up. My siblings and I used to in our basement do a reenactment of Cabin Fever, where we'd have my sister lay on the table in the basement and then rise up like this, and I worked kind of hilariously a couple years ago. I worked on a cruise ship for several months as an improviser, as a comedian, and one of the first things I put on a hard drive, so I had things to watch while I was in the open seas, was Muppet Treasure Island, and we watched it over and over again. And the like kind of D plot of all the rats like being on a cruise.
Mm.
They're like, margaritas at the midnight buffet. That line, like it was all of us in our cast of improvisers was quoting that to each other when we were getting margaritas at the midnight buffet. It's just what you did. So yeah, I really can't wait to see all the ways that Matt sets up this performance to just sing.
I love it. Yeah, this is one of my favorites as well. This is the first film I can remember seeing in theaters. I
mm,
don't think it is the first film, but it's the first one that I can trace my mind back to. In a cinema that was literally 400 meters, that's me being Australian, from my house now, that's now closed, which I'm really disappointed about.
aw.
But yeah, I have a deep affection for this film as well. And like, I don't know if you know, but like in the Muppet world, or in the Muppet fan world, I should say, this isn't a particularly well loved film, which is strange. So I
Mm.
love it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with it. And you'll change some minds, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
I mean,
that is
because
mhm.
no, no,
I
please,
think
please, Matt.
yeah. Oh, thank you. So I think a fun idea, and I might not do this, but I might like take a little poll at the beginning and then take another poll at the end because I would
Yeah,
love to know if we truly can change someone's mind.
yeah.
Oh, totally. Well, I feel like also, sometimes that opinion can come from Muppet purists who, know them,
Mhm.
love them, respect them. And also the idea of being like, well, some of the more beautiful parts of Muppet movies were like the ways that they essentially like reinvigorated the medium of puppetry, and like Kermit riding the bicycle, like things like this, like Feast for the Eyes, or like, oh, we're bringing in celebrities that ultimately like are playing bit parts on the backdrop of a broader story that's set in an archetype. But I feel like something like Muppet Treasure Island falls into the same category of Muppet Christmas Carol, where, of course, not only is it taking a classic story and reinventing it with the Muppets, but I feel like there's not really anyone other than Michael Caine in the Muppet universe of human actors like Tim Curry, who
Mm.
just slots right in. Like, that is somebody who based in his career, based in, I think, his performances, like his being a music man, having a musical background. I feel like he's a Muppet. The Muppets are him, like it's like they fit so well. And he's, again, one of those actors that just makes you feel like every interaction happening with a Muppet is between two actors and not an actor and a puppeteer.
Mhm.
Which, of course, puppeteers are actors, but you know what I mean, like holding the puppet into frame
Yeah.
versus two people. And I think that's part of what makes it so striking, because he as a kid, I remember, first of all, the black spot section at the very beginning of the movie being genuinely the black spot, being frightened
Yeah.
so much as a kid, and then moving into meeting Tim Curry's character and seeing how he interacts with Jim, and kind of being this like father figure and congenial, but then also this kind of like darkness lurking. Like, that's the kind of big world, like, focus on wonder that I think the Muppets do so well. And anyways, let's just say, haters, forward your mail to my address and I'll write you a big long essay as to why this is the best Muppet movie ever made.
Um, well, that leads me to my next question. Matt, have you got a black spot? Like, let's talk a little about the props
Oh
that
yeah.
are coming up.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we have a wonderful my other co-producer, Missy Steele, and she is absolutely great at props. And so we are gonna have so many fun props. We'll have swords, we'll have flintlocks, we'll have treasure chests and compasses, and we'll have probably a talking vegetable in there as well. There's going to be a lot of really fun stuff.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I in the beginning, I when we first started doing the shows, I debated how much prop do you want,
Mhm.
because you don't want to encumber the actors where they're having to like put things all over their body so they can pull them out for one moment in one scene. But there are some things that are truly iconic and that absolutely need to be seen. So
Mhm.
if you've seen our Muppet Scriptmas Carol show, it's about that same level where you're going to see some really fun props coming up.
Beautiful. I mean, I know we're not a big fan of guns, but have we got boom boom sticks?
We've got a couple of boom boom sticks with
Beautiful.
with that bright orange cap on the front, so
Yeah,
you know
good.
that they're
And of course, have you got a gong that you could just throw Mark Evan Jackson into?
I don't know if I'll have, I have to ask our drummer, Dana Wickens, if she has, maybe we have a gong. She might have one. So stay
I,
tuned for that
but
one.
again, I want to see Mark just run at it as hard as he can. Man does
I
his own
need those.
stunts. I've listened to the Good Place podcast.
I need to see those limp limbs, Kermit limp
Just,
limbs
just
smashing.
flapping through,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
So look, not to look too forward because we've still got this one to go. But DJ, is there anyone you'd like to pitch yourself as to Matt now going forward for like say Muppets from Space?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, especially Muppets from Space. I actually saw that a couple years ago with the other writers of that
Mhm.
Nick show at the New Beverly in Los Angeles, and it's such a beautiful one. There's not someone in particular. I mean, I feel like I have my personality. If I were to do sort of Muppets astrology, I would say that I'm a Scooter Sun, Kermit Moon, and an Animal Rising. So there's like this very like perfectionist streak. I think I'm often like, let me lead us, and then the nervousness of like wanting to put on a good show, and then just being an absolute freak is kind of mixed in there too. So any sort of roles in there, I would be more than happy to do. I mean, it's also, though, like the ways that I've seen like the actors that Marcus cast play the characters that they have before, they really are beautiful. Like, they walk the line between knowing how to hit all those comedic marks and genuinely putting on a good show, and then those really touching moments where you're like, you feel it, the like,
Mhm.
keep on dreaming, keep pretending. Like, when you see that scene in the movie, you're like, you feel brought in. It's like a hug, and I feel like, you know any casting that Matt's doing is the right casting. So
I love
I
it.
put it in his very capable hands.
Look, again, not I'm in a fan cast here. I think you'd make a
Yes, there he
killer.
is.
I think you'd make a killer K. Edgar Singer. So like the villain. In the Jeffrey Tambor
Ooh,
role,
Yeah.
I think you'd be wonderful.
that is a massive compliment. I would love to play that role. And listen, I think there's no more fun character to play than an evil guy.
Keep it in
Are
the
you
back of
kidding
the
me?
head. Keep it in the back of your head, Matt.
It's there. It's there.
I think legally I have to ask this question to everyone who's ever been on Make Some Noise, DJ. As I said to you before, I did rewatch your episode last night and loved it. Who are your ideal Muppet co-stars for a game of Make Some Noise?
That is such a good question. Okay, I'm trying to think of. You gotta have Fozzie in there, right? Like, I feel like
I
also
think
if I
so,
knew
yeah.
the Muppet Gang and I didn't invite Fozzie, it would be like, no, that's just rude. That's his whole thing, you know? Like, you gotta let him. And then I'm trying to think of like a. I mean, I think because I love physical humor and I love stunts, maybe Gonzo, if
Yeah.
he's allowed to bring
Yeah.
Candace as GF, you know, to cluck around the set. Because I think those two are not only like I feel they're kind of like Swiss Army knife players in the Muppet
Mm.
Show in general, where they have their like core things that they do, but they've been swapped in and out of things. Like Gonzo being one of the narrators or like omniscient voices in a Muppet Christmas Carol, or like Fozzie playing Fezziwig to the characters, you know, the character rather he's playing in Muppet Treasure Island to, you know, his stand-up comedy persona. Though controversially, my favorite Muppet is Rolf. I
Hmm.
think that he's an undersung hero, also voiced by Henson, obviously Muppeteered by Henson. And I just feel we would need him behind the camera. You know what I mean? Or musical accompaniment, maybe.
Yeah.
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 I also think you could give Rolf Sam's job.
Oh my God. The connection between Sam and Rolf, you just blew my mind. There needs to be fan art made of that, like immediately. It just Rolf at the desk in a little suit with the glasses and the buzzer. Shut
That's sweet.
up!
That's
I
really
need
sweet.
that now. I
Look,
love
Muppet
that,
fans
truly.
who are listening, do it. Do it, and I'll
Please,
send it to you,
please.
DJ.
I need it.
Matt, remind us who we're supporting.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you for asking. So for each show, as you know, we do a different charitable organization that we are supporting. And this time around, I am so happy and proud to say that we are going to be supporting the California Collaborative for Immigrant Justice. This is an organization that utilizes coordination, advocacy, and legal services to fight for the liberation of immigrants in detention in California. I know I said this last time, but I'll say it every time. Fuck ICE. And I
Fuck
cannot say that
ice.
enough.
Fuck
Yes.
us.
All right. So we are very happy that we're going to be able to give support to this wonderful organization that helps folks who are in these detention centers and need to be released immediately. So very glad.
Love it. How can people get their live stream tickets? Because the in-person tickets sold out in 3 minutes, I think you said last time.
It was yes. Grace always says, make sure you say under three
Under
minutes.
3 minutes.
She's
Sorry,
very,
Grace.
she's
Yeah.
like, she's like, say under 3 minutes. Yes, we sold out in under 3 minutes. It was a wonderful, crazy morning. But the great thing about these shows is every single one we've done, we have live streamed. So you can catch the live stream. It'll air live on the same night, May 12th, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will also be available to view after that for up to 2 weeks. And you can get those tickets at dynasty.tv.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Um,
Also, real quick, I want to plug that coming very soon, probably within the next few days. I don't know if it's up today, but by the time folks are listening, this should be up. We will have on dynasty.tv in our landing page our previous shows that haven't been up yet. So Muppets Take Script Hatton
mhm.
and Muppet Script Miss Carol will be back on the website very soon. And we're also going to have some bundles that you can buy in addition to the live stream tickets. So check that out, dynasty.tv.
DJ, before I wrap up as well, can you just tell people a little bit about conversion therapy? Because I listened to a little bit of it yesterday and giggled like a madman.
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked. Yes, incredible intro. Can you tell us a little bit about conversion therapy? Well, how much time do you have? Conversion therapy is a podcast wherein I play a couple different characters. One is a a male pastor named Pastor Toot Whitley, who's kind of like a Southern gentleman who's a reformed homosexual, as he refers to himself, who works with Los Angeles's gayest comedians to help them convert from gay to straight. Sometimes that means enlisting the help of masculinity coach Skid Beef, who's kind of like a manosphere, red pilled kind of man, or femininity coach Vanessa Thigh Gap, who very much runs in this sort of like Erica Kirk, like women of the right realm. Um, the podcast format is I assess the guest's level of homosexuality, then we bring in the masculinity or femininity coach, and then the third part we go air quotes 6 months later where the conversion has been successful and we interview the guest who is now successfully straight and they get to play a character in and of themselves. The idea was born of thinking conversion therapy is so ridiculous outside of the experiences of my friends who have been in it and some of the guests who've been on the show or who will be future guests this season have experienced. Outside of the serious nature of that, it's ridiculous to think that you could change someone and think that any part of someone that they are naturally is wrong. And so what better way to do that than to lampoon the whole thing? And yeah, it's fun. It's stupid. We have an Instagram account at Conversion Therapy Pod where I publish some clips, but all of the episodes so far, as of today's recording date, there are 3 episodes out. Can be listened to any place you get your podcasts.
DJ, can you tell people where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at DJ Mausner or most Monday nights at UCB Theater in LA with Herald Team Dance Club Remix.
Love
Whoop,
it.
whoop.
And Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me at that Matt Wilkie on Instagram as well. And also you can check out the show page, The Muppet Script, at The Muppet Script.
Okay, and where can people find you physically? Like, what's your address?
It is
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.